Nobody ever said back then, oh, I'm emo. You would get your ass beat.
You're listening to OurSpace with Matt Vettese.
Hey, thanks for watching or listening to another episode of OurSpace with Matt Vettese. I'm Matt Vettese, and joined today by a friend of mine, Diego. You may know him on the internet as Greavesley, and Brett as well from Better Health. So you know Diego from his videos, and you're soon to know Better Health from their music as well. We're going to chat a whole lot about content and a whole lot about making music in today's day and age as well. Before we get into the chat, I want to remind you, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. That goes a long way. And of course, follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Music, and give us a review as well. That's the best way to support the show. We are, of course, showcasing and supporting a lot of smaller artists on this podcast. And one of the best ways that you can do that and get the word out there more is by following and engaging with the show. So now let's get on into the chat. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having us.
It was so cool, Diego, meeting you at when we were young. That was a lot of fun. And I feel like we really got to know each other and hang out and text every now and then now, right? And become buddies. And I think it's really cool. Honestly, what you're doing is super, super cool because one, I mean, the content that you do is awesome. Two, you get numbers on every damn video. And three, you have that unique spin that not a lot of people have with your music. And I kind of want to hear a little bit from you. What started it all? Let's start on the content and the things, and then we'll get into the music. What kind of started with making you want to make content in the music space?
So actually, the band started before. I only started making content because I wanted a means to push out my music. If it wasn't for the band, I don't think I would have been making videos, because I feel like content creating for me is more of a tool to market things that I'm passionate about. So before this, I was I'm going to be a tattoo artist and I'm going to be in this band. And then to push it, I'm going to do content related to my music, a little bit of tattooing, and then what I'm good at, which is just being a self-proclaimed emo historian about pointless stuff. MySpace, seeing kids, situationships, being emo in the 2000s, so on and so forth. So that's why that started. As soon as we went to go record for the first time, I was I'm going to start making content. While we were in the studio for our very first song that we never ended up using, that's when I started recording videos. So by halfway through, I had already dropped my first video. And then now that we finally released the song a year and a half later, now my stuff's blowing up. So it's the perfect time to put it out, And I don't know, it's kind of it's one of those things where you're hoping it's going to go this way and it just works out. And you're oh my God, it's so crazy. And I was I'm going to do content about emo stuff, make it funny, talk about music, but also I'm going to throw in covers in between. So people know that I sing. And then the covers did really well. I have some that hit almost 2 million. And I'm hell yeah. So now the music's out, people are yes, and it's still of a slow burn, but I do feel people see me a musician that makes content, or a content creator that makes good music, not just oh, he's doing the music because he just wants to make more money. I feel people can tell that I'm really passionate about what I do and I'm decently good at it. So it just kind of works out.
How long have you been doing the content end of things?
I started July 2024, and that was my first video.
Okay. And how long did it take before your videos started popping off?
2 weeks, 1 month for a super viral one. 2 million was my first viral one. And that one, so within 1 month, I had one that was shared by when we were young. And then ever since then, it's just uphill from there.
That's pretty sweet to get that so quickly and build off of that and continue to grow, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, kudos to you on that thing. But now I'm kind of curious, you mentioned to me, and that was one of the first things that you actually mentioned to me when we first met was listen, Matt, I really just want to do this music thing and band thing. And I started doing content because of the band. And I actually didn't know that because I was only really familiar with your content. And then, I saw the clips of your covers where I was oh, okay, this dude can sing.
Thank you.
And I thought you kind of started forming that band afterwards. So I think there was that cool little clarity there. There it was oh, this dude's a musician first and content creator second. But how will you, I guess, keep that thought in the back of your audience's mind of like, hey, yeah, I'm a content creator, but I make really cool music, and that's kind of what I want you to check out?
Honestly, I enjoy the hell out of like making funny videos. I make videos everywhere I go. If I'm going to like the mall, if I'm going to the arcade, if we're going to like band practice, I'm like, what kind of video can I make? I think it's fun making them. I laugh the entire time editing them. I love putting them out and like talking about bands that I love, and then the bands reply, and then I make friends with them, which is like the fucking best. Can I curse in here? I already did.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's the coolest band that you've, or your favorite band that I guess has reached out that you've gotten to interact with because of the content?
As of late, Travis Mills from Girlfriends.
Hell yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, we were just like, we were going to be at a festival together. I did meet him when we were young, and then he followed me, and then like he just sent me a comment like, yo, you're going to be at the festival, we should hang out. And I'm like, no way. Yeah, dude, totally. That was sick. Tyler Carter, I think I made a video about him or something, and I made friends with him. Mason Musso, Crown the Empire. Mason Musso from Metro Station. I made a video about them. They thought it was hilarious and they followed me, and I was just like, hell yeah. Either I meet them at like a party or an event or something, or I make a video about them, not even thinking they're gonna like watch it or not. I just think it's hilarious, and then they watch it and then like, it's just so funny.
That's pretty sweet. And you do a lot of collabs with a lot of people. I've definitely noticed that. I mean, we did a collab when we were young. Is that something that just kind of happens, or is that strategic? Like, how do you know a lot of these people already? Is it like, talk to me a little bit about the collab end of things?
A little bit of both. Like every time I go to a festival, I plan out where I'm staying, who I'm going with, plan out what bands I want to see, outfits and all that. And then as the days approach, I start making a list of content ideas I want to do, ideas with people, ideas by myself. I just have it ready. So when I come across somebody or I message somebody and they're like, oh, what should we do? I don't have to think about it. It's just like, oh, here's what I have. And they're like, sick,
it's brilliant.
Sick. Yeah, I mean, it's easy and it takes the headache away, because a lot of the times you have this opportunity and you're like, oh, I don't know, we'll think about it and then we'll meet back up. Never happens. You know, it's the festival, booth service, and it's like, you got to take that opportunity there. Obviously, if someone's kind of busy, you met them for the first time, you kind of want to be, hey, dude, nice to meet you, whatever, blah, blah. Love your content. If you hit it off, then be like, by the way, do you want to do a video? You know, you can kind of fill it out. I wouldn't approach anybody with like, hey, dude, let's do a video, because then, I mean, if someone approached me like that, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. But I don't know how they are. So I would kind of just wait. But yeah, kind of when I met you and I was like, I have this idea, you had that idea. It was like, perfect. Then we shot both of the ideas.
Yeah, I just kind of like, you can pick up the vibes off of some people for sure with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Brett this, because you do make a lot of videos. How is it band practice, any of that? Like, how come I don't see any of you guys in the videos as well? Do you guys not want to be in them? Is it
He's recording them?
Yeah, I'm usually recording them.
You're the cameraman.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm usually the cameraman. No, we want to be in it. We're okay with being in it. I don't know. I guess we're just getting used to it, getting into the swing of things as well ourselves. Obviously he's been practicing doing it for a bit, but yeah, like sometimes like I'm at the festivals as well. And so like I'll be, holding the camera for him while he goes and does his thing. And then it like practices, or like for our band, set up a tripod. We got the couple with me and him in it, but now we just
he's been in a few for bands. He's going to be in a bunch for all the bands though that we do, obviously. But
it's funny. I noticed
years, and then we just go outside and we're like, "Where's Diego?" Then we go outside.
He's got the selfie stick. He's got the tripod.
I don't have a selfie stick, but I feel like I'm pushing it at that point. Like if I'm ever recording, like, hey guys, I can't get behind that content for myself. If you have the courage to do that in public, good for you. But to be like, hey guys, so I'm at this, no.
So that's where the line is drawn on the content of the things. There's no selfie content. It's just skits and videos.
Yeah, I don't think I'm interesting enough to like talk to the camera the whole time, you know? Maybe I'll get there at some point, but right now it's just more like skits and things I think are funny.
How do you come up with your, I know you said you've got a list of ideas, collabs and all of that. So where do your ideas typically come from?
To be honest, if it's a trend, I'll jump into some trends. Every time I like take someone's idea, if it's too similar, I'm gonna tag them and be like, "Oh, inspired by this person." If it's totally different, then I'm gonna make it my own, and it's kind of a trend. Obviously, you don't have to tag them because it's just a trend. To start off, I was just like save videos from TikTok, Instagram, and like whatever, and just kind of just like recreate ideas and stuff like that. A lot of them, I just whenever I get a funny idea in my head, I just write it down, and then I just do it. And the last one, I get a lot of them from like memes. My phone is just like stored with like memes from like 2015 till now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, how can this be for my audience, you know? So I try to make it like relatable to like emo or like nostalgia or 2000 singing. I do a lot of like relationship type stuff because I think it's funny. Situationships. So then I just like, how can I make it this? And then, yeah, memes.
Yeah, you do a lot of the let's call it thirst trap stuff as well. Not necessarily maybe just like single stuff. I don't know. I've looked at your comments. You've got some thirst trap comments going on as well.
Bro, I gotta use what I have, you know? Like I definitely support girls.
There's no harm in it, man. Listen,
dude.
I'm not holding that against you.
Hey, yeah, but like every time I see a girl like or like whatever, even when I'm dating someone and they use their looks to get things, it's like, dude, yeah, hell yeah, you're here once in your life. Like you're not hurting anybody. Like use what you have, you know. Not everyone has.
You got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. So I have like so and so intelligent, so and so like work ethic, and then I have like artistic and musical skills and some looks. I'm gonna use all of it, you know.
There you go. You might as well, right? Why avoid something that you've got? You got a talent. Show it off.
And then also, to be fair, I'm kind of one of those like losers that like the music for when I'm into artists, the music is just half of it. I'm so into specifically into like the performance, what they're wearing, how they move in front of the camera, how they play, how like they do like a sick like headbang right before a breakdown. And I'm like, oh man, they just sold that shit so good. So I try to do the same thing with my content and with like my music. It's just like I wanna give those chills that I give to myself watching these artists to people because that's what I'm into as well. And I don't think it's like vain or fake because I grew up watching boy bands and like Never Shout Never, specifically like Crown the Empire. I just love how Andy Leo like worked the camera and like how he would just control the crowd live. And it's like, I think that's sick. I think the music is sick, but if you have the other aspect, that's what makes a huge frontman. That's what makes a Oliver Sykes. That's what makes a Haley Williams, you know? If not, you're going to be just like an adored band, but you're never going to get to the next step, I feel, you know? You have to be the full package. So like, I do try to look a certain way and go to the gym and get vocal lessons because I want to be that version that I look up to. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a person in particular that you try to maybe emulate or that really inspires you for that type of, I guess, bravado?
For sure. I already told him when we like became homies when we were young, Andy Leo from Crown the Empire, he and Trenton from Hands Like Houses. Obviously, I got into the scene with like Under Oath, The Bled, Stick to Your Guns, Early Bring Me the Horizon, you know? And then I was like, this is sick. This is my new life, right? After obviously started with Linkin Park. I mean, I'm saying obviously, but Linkin Park, new metal. Then it went to
we all kind of have that pipeline. We was like, you know, like for me, it was like Avril Lavigne and then into AC/DC, Metallica, Slayer, into like Sex Pistols, Nirvana, and all that stuff. And then it was like The Used, and you're like, all of a sudden, you're just fully into that world, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm cutting it short, but yeah, started off with skating, indie bands, and then it went to like Linkin Park, and then it went to like scene stuff, you know, like Under Oath. And that's what like really like struck something in me. It was like, I want to like do this forever, right? Bring Me the Horizon, Under Oath, all that stuff. And then I didn't really make a move on like singing or making music until I saw, I think it was the same day, I saw Memories of a Broken Heart by Crown the Empire music video and This Ain't No Place for Animals by Hands Like Houses. And on that moment, I was like, I want to do this. I remember like a tear came out of my eye and I was like, I want to do this so bad. And I was like, I love that you can make heavy ass music and you can just sing your heart out and it just be like cool and like, I don't know. It just hit every part of like my mind, my brain. And I was like, yeah, I want to do this. So I would say them specifically, but the one that got me into singing 100%, my Lord and Savior, Christopher Drew from Never Shout Never.
Really, eh? So how did you feel about him dropping off of the one we were young
Bro, don't even get me started. I talk about him all the time. I'm surprised I haven't made I made a couple videos about him, but I should make more. Like it broke my heart because he's the only artist that has completely like fell off on drug abuse that early.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one else I can think about that like literally is not even like there anymore fully at the age of 35 because he's the same age as me. And it's just super sad. I know like what happened to let him up to that point. It's really sad. A lot of like tragedy and death and shit like that, and like a bunch of like bad drugs. And it's just like because I've been there. I've in the past I have a very bad past of like drug abuse and stuff like that. So I know how that ends up. And he just kept doing it. And yeah, he's just like, if you see him on Twitter, he's just like not there. He's just tweeting some random stuff. And it's like I've been there when I was like 23, and I know where that ends up. It's so sad, man.
Yeah, it is really sad. I really thought we were going to get him at when we were young, and
I knew
he was going to be
play,
looking
to be
good and
honest,
healthy. But I think that was sort of like a optimistic side of it. I think there were a lot of people like you that kind of knew that it was eventually going to happen. But I mean, you can just kind of only hope for the best at that point, right?
Yeah, dude. I hope he bounces back, but man, I hope. You know what? Who knows? Maybe he will. Wishing him the best.
Since we're talking about sort of this end of things, and because we met it when we were young as well, and the lineup as we're recording this, not drop tomorrow, but what do you think is going to happen with when we were young next year? Is there another band that you can see possibly headlining, or is it going to be a recycled headliner? Like what are you thinking right now?
That's a great question. I've actually thought a lot about like where do they go from here? They already like did all the cool stuff, you know. Like the first one was like, oh, it has to be fake. And it was like, oh, emo. The second one was like more pop punk, and it was like Green Day and Blink-182. The third one was like the 10-year anniversary or 20-year anniversary of all these albums, right? The fourth one, then we have Panic Reunion and Christopher Drew and Breathe Carolina, like all like the big acts that came back for the first time. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with this one. I love the people that throw it. No other festival treats me so nice. They're amazing. I know they're gonna come up with something cool. I don't know, but I also don't know how long this nostalgia movement episode that we're having is gonna last. You know, because it can't keep going forever. I hope
It's not a phase. It's not a phase.
I don't know. I just don't know how long these festivals are gonna be able to carry this many people and bands, stuff like that. We'll see, because people are gonna get burnt out of it eventually, and we're gonna get old eventually. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna go to this freaking festival when I'm reaching 40. So we'll see. I don't know where this is going.
There's a lot of 40-year-olds that would argue with you that have been going, and that every time I post something about like being in your 30s and whatever, the people that are in their 40s that follow me, I love all of you, by the way. But I love it. I love it when they comment like, yeah, except in your 40s. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's good to know that you can be in your 40s still doing all the same things that I'm doing now in my 30s.
Yeah, it gives you hope, right?
I hear your point though. Like, I don't know. I think you and I both do more festivals than the average person. So like doing that many festivals in your 40s, probably going to take a much bigger toll. And I actually wanted to ask you about that as well, about the whole like emo nostalgia thing, how you sort of feel about it right now. Do you feel like it's a trend or a phase? Do you think that it's eventually going to die, or do you think that it's just kind of one of those things that it's going to keep on going, right?
I think it'll keep on going, and like even like kind of on the back of like the last subject of like, you know, what are the festival, what's When We Were Young gonna do, and you know, the Danny Wimmer festivals and whatnot. It's like what I do like is like, you know, historically, you know, in the UK or those big festivals, right, there'd be kind of a legacy act that headlines. And now legacy, that term is like a little bit more convoluted these days, just because, kind of we're getting older and whatnot. Is Bring Me the Horizon a legacy act? Like, I don't think so, because they're still like, putting out crazy good records and changing the game. I think maybe for me, but anyways, that's another conversation. But they're putting like younger bands than historically over the past 20, 30 years would be like the headliners. They are putting younger bands, and like, I think they're also like, it's great because like Warp back in the day, I think a special thing about them was that they gave young emerging bands like that stage, and to expose themselves to a lot of new people that they otherwise maybe wouldn't. And even with the internet being like a lot more accessible, that opportunity is still there. There's just so many people there, and so I think it's cool on one hand that, these festivals are giving younger bands those headlining spots. And also there's so many sick, new, younger bands. Like I was at Camp Flognaw randomly this weekend because I work festivals, and Eka Vandal's like one that's like super cool, and like she has like that turnstile-y vibe. But it's her own thing, 100%. Anyways, like there's lots of cool new emerging bands that I think, given the opportunities, will find their way to those spots, so that it's not so sterile over and over and over again.
I think what Brett's saying, is right. Like I do appreciate festivals like the Danny Wimber festivals, and festivals like the one our friend throws, Ceremony, because it's all, especially Ceremony is just nothing but new acts. So they had one. I was just in Nashville for it. It was amazing. It was cool. It was no band there was older than 6-7 years. I think the oldest band there was Rain City Drive, and they're
okay.
Even though they started as slaves, they're still pretty new. And it was like Saatchi 6, Beauty School Dropout, Emblem 3, Johnny Gilbert, like all newer artists, and that's sick because it was a younger crowd. It was still some of my crowd, and I think it's important that they also keep in mind, yes, let's have Metallica and stuff like that for the people, but also hype up new bands, because that's the future. If you want to keep it alive, you got to incorporate more new people, and people like us as audience need to like lose this sense of like, no, that's lame, blah, blah, blah. Not as cool as this. They got it from Underworld. Like, bro, who cares? Are you making music? What are you doing to enhance the scene? If you're not doing anything about it, have your opinion, but keep it to yourself. Keep it offline, because people are going to be like, oh, yeah, he's right. It's like, you don't need that. Just keep it a fun place to be around.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. I mean, a big reason as to why I started this podcast and why it's called OurSpace is because I wanted it to be the new space to share good music and share young music. And I actually think, and I've said this on the podcast several times, but I actually think that the younger kids now and the people doing it in the scene right now are actually more talented in making better music than what actually came out in the 2000s. Like it's really evolved, and it's gotten better.
Agree.
The reason why we look back at so much of that so fondly, and why we maybe even think that it's better, is because of that nostalgia effect, right? The nostalgia puts the rose tinted glasses on for sure. But if you look at a band like Arm's Length or Hot Mulligan or any of these newer bands in the scene, like Ben Quad just released a heavy hitter album. Military Gun dropped an album that's like a sneaky album of the year this year. Like there's so many amazing bands that are doing their thing right now that I'm like, if these came out in the 2000s, it would have blown our minds. Like it would have been like, what is this? The quality is just so much better than a lot of these other bands.
Yeah.
But we get old, we get lazy. I don't necessarily think that it's like a 30 or 40-year-old problem. I think it's like, I don't think it's necessarily a stubbornness problem. I think it's more so of if you think about the average person in their 30s and 40s in terms of like what they've got going on in their life, I feel like people, when we talk, and I've had this conversation with people before, because music is our world and we love it so much and we're obsessed with it, we stay in touch with things. But the average person, I think about like, let's say my brother-in-law, he goes to work, he comes home, he takes care of the kids, he maybe watches an hour of the football game and he goes to bed. There's no time to find new music. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like you lean on the stuff that you listened to in high school.
100%.
it makes sense. But I feel like if you do love the music and you are listening to podcasts like this and you are interacting with people like yourself online, then it almost becomes our responsibility to be like, hey, look at this cool new band, or I'm making cool new music in your case, like, check it out. And if you love this, you'll love that, right?
Yep.
But I'm kind of curious why you think the nostalgia side of things is so popular now.
I feel like everything comes back in full circle, usually like 10 years in or so. It happened with like grunge. It's happened with like new metal. It happens with everything. I feel like after like a certain amount of time, people like tend, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like people tend to miss something or feel like, hey, that was really good. Why didn't we like, a lot of these bands that came out at a certain time, you wait 10 years and now everybody loves them. And it's just like, oh, we always liked them. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I was there.
I know.
Like,
you were calling me slurs for liking this shit.
You know how cringe it was to say it? Nobody ever said back then, oh, I'm emo. You would get your ass beat. Yeah, I feel like after a certain amount of time, things become cool again, or you're like, hey, this was the thing. I want to show you what I was into, And then I think that's a big aspect of it. Like things.
Did you call yourself an emo kid back then?
Hell no. Hell no. I was more.
That's how you know you were a real one.
No, dude, I was just saying that like, I was just a skater that was into like hardcore music as well. So I was into like all kinds of like indie, alternative, hardcore, and then I just like even if someone said screamo back then, I was like, what are you saying, bro? That's not even a term. And I would get pissed. I was like, there's post-hardcore, there's metalcore, there's deathcore, there's grindcore. You do not say screamo. But
Screamo and emo were considered insults back then, for sure.
Back
I never referred to myself as an emo.
That's what like posers would call it.
Yeah, or it was an insult. It was like, yeah, you're so emo, and it's like, bro, it's not emo. This is pop punk. Shut the fuck up. It's kind of funny. Like, what do you think about it now? And you kind of briefly touched on it, but like, what do you think about people using the term emo now? Because I know, like myself, I don't care. I'll start throwing that term around because now I'm also at the point where I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm 30. It's emo music. You want to call it emo? You want to call me emo? I don't really care. Put whatever label you want on me. I've got bigger problems, bigger issues to deal with in my life than a silly label. And kind of like you, I'll use like the elder emo to kind of target my audience towards, the other people that grew up listening to the same music as me. You mentioned that you don't go by like emo or elder emo now. Do you try to avoid that?
I'll say emo. I'll use emo here and there. I was like, oh, I'm like, everyone's like emo. Like I always get all my friends always send me all the emo memes, because I'm like, I'm everyone's emo friend. I wouldn't say a lot of like my friends I grew up with are emo, but they're always like, oh, like emo this, emo that. Anyways, I think emo, I use that. Elder emo though is just kind of like, I wouldn't use that one. I think that one's kind of cringe.
It's just a name for a community, I think, these days. Like even like, and why like the resurgence has happened. I think like all of us now, or a lot of us are in our 30s or maybe even just late 20s at the tail end of kind of things and stuff. And we're adults, we got jobs, we got a monotonous schedule. You maybe have kids or whatever. You just have a routine, and to be able to kind of like, now there's been this community built like over the past like couple years with this genre and these bands that we all loved. And with like, of course, since COVID, like getting out, luckily going out and going to shows and stuff is kind of back, I think. But like still just, as an adult, like in your day-to-day life, it's just harder to get out because of this reason or that. And so, a karaoke night this time, it's like, I can go to that. Or I can just join this online community and I can talk about this thing and just connect with some old friends over it or make new friends with it. It's hard to make new friends, especially as you get older, especially if you're not us going to these shows so often and whatnot. Maybe you're an introvert or whatever. And it's just, it's something for people to have, I guess.
Yeah.
And also like, I think it's like a 3-part thing. Like that's one part. The second part is music, kind of goes in ways of like really poppy stuff and and whatnot. Maybe it's like a little surface level for them. So people want, that music again, that's just like really making them feel stuff. And then the third thing's kind of just like the state of the world, like people want a little bit of an escape. I'm not going to get political, but, maybe people are a little unhappy, and, music's a great escape. Music's a great escape to feel seen, feel heard. And there's lots of amazing new bands like Anxious, like you said, Ben Quad, Hot Mulligan.
Hell yeah, the Anxious as well.
Yeah, love their new record. And, there's still the Citizens and whatnot out there. But yeah, so that'd be my hot take.
Yeah. And then people love to be part of something. People love community. They want to be, I'm into football. I love going to breweries. I ride bicycles. I go to hikes. I'm a elder emo. They just want to be part of something so bad. And then like, cause they just want to like bond with people, and like, I get it. I make friends with people over being vegan. I make friends with people over like going to shows. Like, people want to be part of something.
I'll be honest with you, with the whole elder emo thing, I think you touched on a really good point. There is community. And I think that's why in the beginning, I used the elder emo term a lot. I categorized a lot of my content. I used that term a lot in the beginning because I felt like in the beginning, when it first kind of became a term, it was like, oh, hey, yeah, that was actually me. I can classify myself as this. And all of a sudden it built community, and everybody who kind of was actually in the scene and grew up emo connected with it. So it felt like you were building community. But then I feel like it caught on to be so big that a lot of people started using it for clout. And they were like, hey, here's a niche that's blowing up right now. I used to listen to Mayday Parade when I was in high school. And it was just, okay, I'm going to be an elder emo and do elder emo content because I like this one band in high school. And start kind of almost like learning what you needed to, like straight up. Hate to use this term as a 30-year-old, but like a lot of posers started kind of coming in with the wrong intentions. It wasn't because they loved the music or grew up in it. It was because they wanted to create a platform.
If you're a content creator, if all you're going to do is just like reuse trends, just do fit checks, reuse sounds, and that's all, like, I mean, you could do that, but like, I like when people bring in something, like you do interviews, you do podcasts, you were interested in this. I want to like touch on artists that I liked when I was younger. I feel like I want to touch on content that hasn't been done. I want to bring in my music into this. I want to, yeah, new bands. I cannot tell you how many bands I'm friends with that are just starting out, that are doing huge, or that are gonna do huge, that I interview because I'm like, you're gonna be the next big thing, dude. I want to like help you create content or whatever, stuff like that. Even with my event, like, yes, it's an emo karaoke, but I love singing, and I like to like and have community with my friends and do things like that. Like, as long as you add something to it, or like the people that also like check out this like up and coming top 10 metalcore bands you might not heard of. I love that. They're bringing something to the scene. That's cool. If you're just remaking stuff like that, that's cool. But like, maybe try to bring in something of use to the scene so it stays alive and it just doesn't become a huge meme.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about the karaoke event, actually, because I've seen a lot of that. Obviously, I'm not in the same area as you, so it's a little bit harder to come out, or I promise I would come out every single time. But tell me, how did that come to be?
I'm gonna be fully honest. I wasn't even thinking about this wasn't my vision before. It was just the music and the tattooing for me, even though I don't tattoo anymore. But we were just at a bar back when I was drinking like 6 months ago, and I was kind of drunk, and I was like, yeah, they never used this stage for anything. I would love to have a karaoke, because I love going to karaoke. I just like singing, and then like I have stage fright, and I'm like, I'm gonna be playing in my band soon. I need to get over my stage fright. So I just brought it up to the owner, and I was like, hey, dude, can I have a karaoke here? He's like, it doesn't work. Nobody comes. And I'm like, I'll take care of that. Actually, if you don't mind, it's going to be like an emo karaoke, because that's what like my niche, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right, we'll try it out. And then, yeah, I started off with like 60 people. Then it went to like 120. And then I went to 200. Now I'm like working with like other influencers and doing different spots, stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a cool spot to like, obviously like come listen to some cool music, sing it at the same time, and then collaborate with other people who are also in the scene, and they like help them promote their stuff. Cause I I have friends in the scene. I have one person who does like photo. I have one person who does video. I have one person who does sound. And then I help them promote their business while I promote mine. And it's just a whole group of friends. And then, yeah, it's honestly just really fun. And then I get to make some money out of it. And then it helps me pay for rent, stuff like that. And then I can make more videos. And then, yeah, because I do this kind of full time now. I do content, emo, karaoke. And then I have a business that I work from my phone. And then I do that full time. So... And well, yeah, and the and the band. I mean, I don't make money off the band, to be honest, but hopefully I will in the future. But like, yeah, it's just all stuff that I'm passionate about. So yeah, that one just kind of fell in my lap. But
I say from the outside looking in, it's maybe even just subconsciously, but you know, it's that desire to build community. You know, it's the old like hardcore kind of like scene type of vibe where it's just like putting each other on and. Like you just always are inviting friends. You like get up there, sing with people. It's just it's another little mini community.
I love that. I was actually gonna bring that up, and I was gonna ask, how do you build community as a band? Because I feel like that's important of building a fan base as well. So for the music, what are you doing to build community around the band?
My thought process on like being in a band and like making music is like a little bit like multifaceted, but like, especially when it comes down to like, oh, like, how do we like promote this song that we're about to release? I think there's a lot of things like some bands do that are like inappropriate or too early. It's like, you just put out your first song. Don't do a free t-shirt giveaway. Cause like, you're just giving a free t-shirt to your friends and family, you know, right now. I don't know. Like there's like a time down the line, like that's super sick. But, I think of it in my head as like a give and take. Like first things first, you got to make something genuine and real and good, like genuinely good. That's like, I think lyrically, like a lot of our songs are, you know, it might be like really raw and honest lyrically, but there's like always usually a tinge of like hope, not a cliche amount, but just like just being real. And then if people like that, then it's like, you know, like I would never like want to post right after that. Oh, like, share and follow this. I mean, you have to ask, right? But I think there's a better way to do it. So like with this release, we've been individually messaging people and there's no copy pasting. It's like, if I was messaging Diego, I'd be like, dude, what up? Like, hey, like I saw, you know, you posted about your cat the other day, like
sorry that it died.
Like,
by the way,
like, you know,
I'm sorry grandma died, but check out this song.
You know what song would help?
You have to reach out to like old and new people, right? So like if it was an old person, like I probably have like kept up with watching their stories or whatever. I try to stay active at watching stories. And just replying just to be active in my friends' lives because we're older and so it's hard to get out and like actually see them anyways. But
a genuine approach.
Yeah, a genuine approach. And if it was a new person, I'd go to their page and like see what they're doing. If they had like some art, I would like go on one of their posts and be like, if I genuinely felt this way, I'd be like, this is really sick. Like, I like this. Like, how long have you been doing art? Just like start a real conversation, you know?
It might take longer, but it works. Like, for example, tonight we're going to go to it's a metalcore night / goth night upstairs, metalcore night downstairs. It's actually really cool. And I'm going to go to pass out business cards for my emo karaoke that's this weekend because every time I go up to someone, this is how I do it and I get people in. I'm like, hey, do you come here often? They're like, oh, yeah, so. Have you ever been to emo karaoke? Oh, no, I haven't. Well, I'm having one this Saturday. I run it. It's going to be at this place. It's emo, new metal, blah, 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 blah. It's only $10, but you get a free drink or mocktail if you don't drink. I'm going to host it. All my friends you see here are going to go. It's going to be a great time. I think you should come. And then at that point, I make a genuine connection. Half the time they ask like, oh, what's the Instagram? What's your Instagram? And other times it's like, bro, I've seen your videos. Oh my God. I was like, hell yeah, bro, come hang. And then like, that's the best way you can get someone to come. They want to come and they'll probably keep coming because they're like, yo, this guy's cool, you know? And that's what we did with the band as well. We're like, oh, bro, like, you like this, you like that? I think you might like our band kind of thing, you know? It's just like, it's a genuine approach, or they think my videos are funny and they follow on their own, you know? I'm not like shoving in their face, like, here's my band, follow it. It's just like more of like, oh, this guy makes music, let me check it out. And
it's
then
a balance of like just having a normal conversation, but I think you have to genuinely be interested in wanting to talk and connect with people to do this. If you don't, like, I mean, you can do that too, like just make music for yourself and all that, whatever. But like in this day and age, like I think it's really important to challenge yourself. Even I'm not a super extroverted person like Diego is,
I don't think extroverted.
No, but yeah, just like have a conversation and just put forth the effort to genuinely learn a little bit about them, and then have a conversation. And yeah, at the end of it, you'd be like, also, I'm in a band and I'm out here promoting my band. Be sick if you could take a listen and tell me if you love it or hate it. Either way.
Yeah. I feel like I'm extroverted in the scene. If I go to a regular club, a regular restaurant, a park, I cannot start a conversation to save my life. But if I'm at a show, I feel like I'm in my world. I can just talk about anything because I'm just so into it.
You're in your element, man.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, you like this band, bro? You should definitely check out Boundaries, or you should check out freaking Sleepwaker or whatever. And just like, oh, sick, and I can just talk about it and I can nerd out on it. But yes, me and him specifically with this band, we go to shows, festivals, parties, specifically just to like network and meet people and just get further on what we want to do. Like I go to these festivals to have fun, obviously, but in the back of my mind, I'm always like, all right, content. Go now go to like artist lounge and like mingle, see who's there, say what's up, and then yeah, dude, just keep working, because every time I go to a festival, there's always a point where I'm like, I met this person and now I'm gonna do this and that. I was like, this is why I came. There's an opportunity, and like just like it makes it funner for me in that way to just go and like get something out of it as well as having fun. If it's just for fun, that's cool and all, but for me, I want to do both. I want to like thrive, have fun, meet people, and then make more for myself, I guess, in our band.
You take advantage of it, network. I think that's brilliant. Like that's really smart.
And
That's definitely the way to do it.
Making friends,
I was going to say the caveat for anybody listening of networking is networking does not equal, in my opinion, going out and talking about yourself and what you got going on and what you're doing and what you care about. It's I think mostly kind of being informed of what's going on and being genuinely interested in what other people, and like if I go up to someone, if I met you, I'd be like, what up, Matt? Dude, I love your podcast. Like that one that you had was really good. I like that better. Hell, where you talked to that guy Diego. God, I'd kiss that guy. He's so pretty. But, whatever. Like
he's so pretty.
Yeah. But yeah, it's generally I think it's way less about talking about yourself and what you got going on. The opportunity will present itself, but just make a friendship first.
Yeah,
be a good hang.
Yeah, exactly. He always says like, be a good hang. Absolutely, make a good friend, and then the opportunity will follow itself. Just how he said. Always, just kind of like me and you. Like we were just planning to meet up and whatever, and then like we kidded off, and
we
it was
just
like, bro,
ended up just talking about each other. Like it was just
exactly.
it was hanging out, vibing. Like it was just so natural. Like we were friends already. Like we'd been talking and hung out a million times. And immediately I was like, I vibe with this guy. Like, got to get him on the show. Got to talk about the music. Got to talk about got to talk about all of it, right?
And I was gonna say, I love how specifically me and you, like, we were talking about how like, even though we're in the same kind of scene, we do like similar content, and it's all about like helping out one another. It's like, let's definitely collab. If you have any questions about this, I'm pretty good with this. If I have any questions about this, I know you're pretty good with this. I'll ask you, and it's just like helping other people grow and not being gatekeepy about the information that you have or the video ideas that you have, or like, oh, well, if he blows up, what about me? It's like, what does that matter? It's just like blow up with them, and if you don't, they will reach back down and freaking pull you if they think you're cool. That's what it's all about.
I think that's brilliant. There's actually a story about Blink-182 and Green Day where they kind of had a similar relationship when Blink was on the come up. Green Day was the biggest band in the world, and Green Day had helped out Blink. And then Green Day had that moment where no one really cared about them anymore, and Blink became the biggest band in the world, and they helped Green Day on up after a while. And then look at that, Green Day ended up becoming biggest band in the world all over again, right? So it's just kind of like you help each other out. I've always said too, like I believe I've said this to you, like I'm big on helping people out because there's more than enough space and room for all of us to win. There's no like you losing doesn't make my win any bigger. It doesn't help me get further. It's just like, let's win together, right? Like at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I love seeing people win. Like that's just the attitude that I personally have. Not everyone feels that way. You can kind of feel out some people are not like that way. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay. All right. We're done here.
Right.
But it is what it is. That's just reality.
Yeah.
I think it's really important in life the way you get to where you want to go.
How long it lasts. It just depends on how you got there.
How you get it in life, I think, is for me one of the most important thing. Like, there's a lot of ways you can get to where you want to go, and I think it's really important to be a good person. And if when
I worked in radio, there was an expression that was used early on in my career that someone said. I don't remember who said it now, but they said, you see the same people on your way up the ladder as you do on your way down. So be nice to everybody. So, you never know. On your way down, you're going to see someone that you helped lift up on your way up. It's just the way that it is. But I want to get more back into your music for people that have never heard Better Hell before. How would you describe it?
It's alternative rock, definitely with emo influences. I do the writing for the guitar, and with this band, it's a little bit different than some of my past bands where some of my past bands work with producers, but it wasn't so much. It was more for production in the song, but not for help or any collaboration on songwriting. In this band, we've done collaboration with songwriting. So this first song and then the next song that'll be out, we collaborated with Aaron Gillespie from Under Oath. And I come from the hardcore world influence, Title Fight. I used to started a band called Movements back in the day, and just that's why I love Anxious and Thrice, Downward, Modern Color, whatever. All the bands you were mentioning, earlier.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different than this.
You were in Movements at one point.
He started it.
Yeah, started that band.
Hell yeah!
Outgrowing Things was his baby, and then shit didn't work out. But.
Yeah, as it goes, But then I was in a band called Commonwealth, and we're all split up across the country. So just kids and whatnot happens. But yeah. Anyways, we're still out here we're still out here doing the thing, and but that's what's great about this band. Everybody in it just really wants to do it and do it full time, and whatnot. And we have no mental reservations towards the songwriting process. The people we've been working with are people that we genuinely, fuck with, whether it's what they've done themselves in their own bands. So the first two songs with Aaron Gillespie, so that would be Aaron, me, Diego, and then a good friend of mine, Bryce Evanson, who was in Commonwealth with me. Then we just did a song that'll come out way later down the road with a good friend of mine, Austin Coop, who's worked with a lot of cool people. He just did a Citizen record and
Devil Wears Prada, Papa Roach.
A lot of big names really here. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool to collaborate with these people that we genuinely respect, their work, and not have any reservations with it. Because sometimes it is hard. You're I wrote the song, I like it as is, But so I would say it's, Diego's influences kind of are more the bands he's mentioned are a little bit less in that hardcore scene, pop punk scene that I come from.
Yeah.
It's more.
I'm more scene post-hardcore.
Yeah. But I like that stuff too. And he likes this stuff, as well. So it's kind of, I think, a mix of those.
Yeah. They all kind of mesh nice and neatly and get you something nice and cool.
Yeah. When someone asks me what does it sound like? I just tell them it sounds like Movements if Joe Jonas was the singer. And if you listen to it, it's not far.
I hate that. I've never heard you say that. I hate
but more modern. Because honestly, I can't even
clipped.
pinpoint what it sounds like.
I'd say
we don't even go for a specific. We just kind of just.
Yeah, when we're writing songs, I'm not oh, I love this band. I want to do something like that. We just get in a room and we just write. There's no I'm not thinking of any bands. I make a riff and then the drummer makes a cool drum beat and then the bassist writes a cool bass line and then we make a song and then we take it to the studio or pre-pro it out. Then we take it to the studio and then that guy who we're writing with, they have their own influences. Maybe let's restructure it like this, or what if the riff was like this, and just we get to collaborate. But I'd say alternative rock.
That's just such a broad term. Alt rock is like, all right, brother.
Put it under the big umbrella. Fuck it. It's its own thing. I love it. What can people look forward to from Better Hell in the upcoming future? Do we have an album that's coming out? Do we have an EP? Like, what should people be looking out for?
So, we'll be dropping another song soon. And then we're looking to complete like an EP of songs here soon to go with this third song that we just completed. So another single soon, and then hopefully an EP to drop soon after that. And this next
like a 4-song EP, no?
Yeah, we'll see.
We don't know, but we think a 4-song EP and then maybe an album after. We don't know. We just kind of going with the flow, putting out music, but we already have songs ready to go. We're just gonna keep putting them out every like month or two, ready to go.
I have a disgustingly long list of Dropbox files and songs and pre-pro.
Yeah, luckily he makes all the music, and then we just kind of like he writes mainly all the lyrics, and then when we get to the spot, I just have to like sing it, and then it just kind of like help with melody stuff like that, and it's quick. This is the quickest band I've ever recorded music with. It's just kind of like we go in the studio, and in one day we have a full song. It usually takes me like days to like finish one song, but not anymore. One day, done. Or 2 days, right? I guess 2 days. Anyways, it's quick. I love it.
Dago brings these songs to life for sure. And we collab.
I feel it's because I come from a different world of music, and it's just more like poppy, high vocal, raspy, and like I'm not even kidding. Like if whoever's hearing this, I do sing like Joe Jonas because I grew up on Jonas Brothers, and I just like I want to sing just like him. And then I've heard, I'm like, someone told me the other day, you kind of sound like Joe Jonas. And I'm like, do I? And I'm like, bro, yes, I do.
I do fuck with the Jonas Brothers for the record.
That's my biggest goal as a micro influencer is to be friends with Joe Jonas. That's when I hit that hit that mark. I meant, whoa. Pause. When I hit that mark, that's when I know that I made it as a content creator. I'm like, yep.
He's pretty active on TikTok. You never know. It could happen fairly soon.
I know. I love Joe Jonas.
Oh my God.
If you watch this.
But if you like movements in Commonwealth and Citizen and Title Fight, I think there's those people can definitely identify and like this stuff. And also if you like a little bit of more post-hardcore, melodic hardcore, how'd you describe the genre? Whatever, that stuff.
Post-hardcore, pop punk.
I think there's like the songs kind of differ, have a good bit of, I think, variety to the sounds and like influence that'll go into this song, or these different influences go into this song. So I think there's like something for everybody.
That's great. Do you have any plans on any shows or tours for 2026?
December 20th is our next show.
Yeah, we should have one more for 2025 in Garden Grove with Secrets. Those are the homies.
The vocalist Wade from Secrets is actually our neighbor. Like,
oh really? Like straight up? Like you go knock on his door?
Yeah. Like we live like across. I live next to a golf course because whatever. No, I'm just kidding. And then across the golf course, Wade from Secrets lives there, and actually like his wife is. If anyone watched this music video of our song, she's the girl that's supposed to be my girlfriend in the music video. And then we were hanging out when we were young. He was like, hey, you guys want to play a show with us? And I'm like, yeah, dude. So it's kind of cool. Just like, you want to play a show? It's like, yeah, with Secrets? Hell yeah, dude. So it's like,
need an opener. Just come and knock on the door.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome. He's really cool. But yeah, fun story. Just across the street.
I think 2026 will be a good year for the band. We've had some really cool, like, and interesting talks with people, different ideas that those people have and whatnot. So
yeah, we definitely have some festivals lined up and later on.
Yeah. Right now we're just
a bunch of shows.
That stuff will pan out with time. Right now we're just focused on grinding out best music we can.
I love that. So I think people need to go onto Spotify or Apple Music or wherever they're getting their music right now and go and follow Better Hell so they can keep an eye out for the new music that's going to be slowly dropped throughout the year for any EPs or any releases. And of course, go and follow the band and Diego on social media, on all of them. and keep an eye out for new music, for fun content, and all of that. One question before we wrap things up, because I mentioned the show is about sharing our love of music, sharing new bands. Who would you guys say are the best up and coming bands right now, or underrated bands that you think everyone needs to check out?
I have a list off the top of my head. Everyone that I'm friends with: Sachi 6, Colorblind, Never Tell, Sleep Theory. I don't even need to give them like, they're already doing huge. Until I Wake. All these bands, they're kind of in the same realm. Yeah, Windwalkers, whatever. I'm like friends with most of them, but yeah, they're all great. I'm a fan before I'm their friend, and that's how I kind of sneak in there, and I'm like, oh, dude, you're so sick. But my name is Diego, by the way. But anyways, yeah, those bands, I would say. Off the top of my head, for me.
Yeah, I've been jamming Downward recently. Has been like one of my favorites. Some good friends of mine, Modern Color. It's been sick to see them. They've been on tour with Thrice recently, so it's been really sick to like watch them, get it and get their flowers. And Anxious, Ben Quad. There's another band called Flycatcher that's super sick.
I love Flycatcher as well. Yeah, they came out with, when I heard their song last year, maybe, was Sodas in the Freezer, and immediately I was sold. I was like, yeah, I'm all in on these guys. These guys rip.
I don't know what they're doing, but like Valley Heart is super dope. There's been a lot of like really, really good bands this past like year that are just killing it. Yeah, it's great to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
see, he's a real musician here with
Oh my God,
with the real love of music. I'm just like, oh, they have nice hair and they're really nice. I love their music.
I mean, I like all those bands.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Make good music and they look cool. I'm like, sold.
You just make
Here's
good
my
music.
money.
You could.
I just want to be an emo Jonas Brothers, basically what Diego's saying.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm an emo Joe. Oh.
I honestly on
I wish
Spotify, I don't really ever like. I have my liked playlist that I'll throw on shuffle every now and then, but I just listen to the Discover Weekly, and like I just like to
That's a
listen
good way
to
of doing it.
news. It throws some stuff that I already know in there, but I discover so many cool new bands just listening to Discover Weekly.
Cap.
What? I do.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does. He said, I just want to support you. We just want to know we're the best people. By the way, we're selling t-shirts.
Discover Weekly isn't always new bands. Sometimes it's always.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I always put in a new band and throw on their radio and then discover all the other new bands. That's a good way to do it too.
That's a
Just
good way
throw
of
in
doing
a
it.
newish
Yeah,
band, throw on their radio. There's gonna be all the other new bands. All the bands I ever
Absolutely.
find out through Spotify, but I might switch to Apple Music because Spotify is doing some shit that I'm not cool with.
Same.
Yeah, I might be more of a Apple Music girly from now on. We'll see.
I don't know if Apple has that type of.
I know that's the only thing. All the features on Spotify, but
Anyways.
yeah. Anyways,
Pay musicians more, Spotify.
For
yeah,
real.
and then go and check out Better Hell on Spotify, and make sure to
Yeah.
follow OurSpace with Matt Vettese on Spotify, and do it on
Yay.
Apple Podcasts as well, and do it on YouTube, and do it everywhere, and yeah, and that's the show.
hell yeah, brother.
Thank you for listening to Our Space with Matt Vettese. If you enjoyed yourself, please support the show by subscribing and leaving a review.